Okay, we are live. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Been a little bit of a break, a little bit impromptu and unplanned, but it's all good. We're back now. And yeah, guys, looking forward to tonight's show. So let's get into it and let's get this show kicked off. And I guess we're going to kick off with a man who I've been talking about for a while on the channel. That is Branthwaite, centre half from Everton, looking very, very good this season. Looks exactly the type of defender we need. Strong, quick, good in the channels. Very tall as well, good box defender, got that height, got that aggression, has the physicality that we miss on the pitch, and I really think Branthwaite could be a really good option for us in this summer transfer window. And I think we do need multiple centre halves, and I am working on a video at the minute, guys. I've done a little bit of work today for it. Basically, it's how Manchester United can fix the team, and a lot of it is coming down from those centre half areas, and a lot of it is about getting that high line back into Manchester United's play, because you can't press up high up the pitch and have a backline that wants to retreat at the same time. It just doesn't work. It leaves massive spaces in front of your backline. You end up conceding a lot of goals. That's exactly what's happened to Manchester United in this window and in this season so far. So that's going to be an interesting video to get all together, but certainly do expect to see centre halves brought in. I think a right centre back is going to be key as well, but I do think left centre back will be another area we will look at. And you could be looking at two centre halves, and you could be looking at a full back as well in that left back area. And that's certainly going to be a big overhaul of the defence. And you think of most of the really successful managers in the last couple of years. You think of Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool, you think of Pep Guardiola at City, you think of Arteta at Arsenal. You look, even if you want to look at a less successful level, if you want to look at Ange at Tottenham Hotspur, they've all went after the back line initially, and that's been areas where they've spent heavily to really impact the team. And once you cover yourself defensively, you can really go for it offensively. And I think that would help us so much. Someone like Jared Branthwaite, a real dual winner, someone who can cover those wide areas. You look at what Van Dijk does at Liverpool, you look at City, you see John Stones doing that, you see Kanji doing that, you see Nathan Aka doing that. They've got a lot of players to do that there. But even at Spurs, Van der Ven, his importance to that team can't be understated. Big up Suleiman, big up Samantha Tada as well. Apologies if it does look a little bit off behind me as well, guys. One of my lights seems to have decided to quit on me, so I'm going to have to go replace that. So I do look a little bit pale on the video, just because I don't have any light in the set. I'm balancing it all out, but it is what it is. You guys can probably hear it as well in my voice. I am a little bit unwell. That's probably been some of the reason why I've not been as active this week as what I wanted to be, but we're all good now. So I do want to get talking about some of the other stuff coming in tonight as well, and I guess one of those is Julian Nagelsmann. A manager really who I've been a big fan of for a long time, and I think that there really could be something in this. And I do think we're looking at a Ten Hag replacement at this point in time. I think when you see talk from very respectable journalists saying that there's issues between United and Ten Hag, there's uncertainty over the job. You see journalists such as Mullock who have been really accurate in terms of getting stuff directly from the Ten Hag camp, and you see them saying that there's a potential for a mutual termination here, which might solve all parties' issues. It means that United don't have to pay a big payout for Erik Ten Hag. It means that he doesn't have to get sacked, and we can go our separate ways. And I think Julian Nagelsmann is kind of lining up with that. Now, look, obviously, De Zerbi's there, Potter's there. Those are very good managers. I do like Julian Nagelsmann and always have done, but that's a potentially interesting one to keep an eye out on. And I guess the manager situation is something I don't want to speculate too much on it. Look, there's been a lot of drama this week online from respectable journalists and from fan channels alike. I don't really want to weigh in too much on that because I have a very, very small voice as well. But I do think I do think there's a potential for a change in manager. I'm not going to go in too much on it. I'm not going to go ranting and raving. Big ups to Steph as well for joining in. Luman says, Mount recovered and trained today. Yeah, he trained today. Looks good for Mason Mount. I'm glad to see that there. Probably going to be back after the international break. That's good for us. It gives us more midfield bodies, and that's definitely positive. Talk as well of Højlund being back at the weekend to play Liverpool. That could be a good one, and I hope that that is the case, because I'd love to see Højlund get given a go against Liverpool in a match where we can go out and attack them. So let's see what we can do in that respect. Big ups on those 13 likes as well, guys. Much appreciated as always. But yeah, Mount coming back, that's good. Hopefully, we're not too far away from a return for other players as well. I think Wan-Bissaka's back as well now. That's positive. I'm not too sure what the long term prognosis is for Lisandro Martinez, but probably not going to see him until the end of the season, if at all. Really, at this point, I would say, but certainly, Mount coming back's good. Wan-Bissaka coming back means we don't have to see Lindelof at left back anymore. That's a big relief, and then that's hopefully going to help the back line out as well. So I would imagine that's probably going to shift us towards Dalot at left back for a bit, Wan-Bissaka at right back, and we'll go maybe Maguire and Varane at centre half, and that's a lot more better. That's a lot better. It makes me feel a lot more comfortable anyway than the thought of Johnny Evans, Varane, and Lindelof at left back. That's not been a fun watch in recent weeks. It really hasn't, guys. Um, a lot of interesting talk coming out anyway today that I want to get talking about, though. There's an article on Anthony we can have a look at some point tonight as well. I will have a look at what Ten Hag has been saying as well. Seemingly done a little bit of an interview as well today. He's been impressed with Johnny Evans. I think we've all been impressed with Johnny Evans, to be fair, and maybe not the flashiest player, maybe not the most attractive signing for us. Steph says Mount will be ready to score a winner against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Hopefully, maybe so. I don't know. It feels like United's always on the receiving end of an ex-player coming back to Old Trafford and scoring a goal. I remember Danny Welbeck doing it for Arsenal and for Brighton. I've seen it with Andreas Pereira, with Dan James, with did Heath Chung score against us at some point this season? I feel like he might have done for Luton. But there's been a lot. Antonis says Mount to save our season. Maybe. I'm excited to see Mount anyway. Mostly because we were so crazy about buying Mason Mount in the first place. We really, 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 really wanted the player. We wanted the player so badly, and we've barely seen him feature. So I want to see what we wanted him so badly for. That's what I want to see. I want to see why this guy was deemed so essential to what Erik Ten Hag was trying to do with this United team. We haven't really seen it. I know at the time he seemed to get a little bit of stick as well, but I think that's probably just a Chelsea player signing for Manchester United. But I want to see what Mount can do as well. Look, if you guys are feeling confident with Mount coming back, let me know down below as well. Like, do you guys think we're gonna see a different type of midfield now that Mount's back and fit? Because really, he got injured in that Tottenham Hotspur match in the second game of the season. Now he's come back once or twice since then, but he's never looked 100% fit. He's never looked 100% ready. He's never looked 100% like he should be out on the pitch. And I don't know. For me, I'm excited to see some more legs in midfield, some more energy. Maybe we can keep the ball better. That could be something of a luxury compared to what we've seen in the last couple of weeks. From that midfield, ball retention has not been good. We've been trading the ball like it's a bomb, really. So I wouldn't mind seeing Mount coming back in, see what he can get doing in this team. Certainly could bring some legs when he does get there. And hopefully Mount can come on and make up somewhat of a difference for us as well. Will be good. It'll be like a new signing without being cliche. Steph says, does Johnny's inspired return? We'll go back for Chris, Mike Smalling. Both should never have left. Maybe. I mean, I think there is something of what's the word? Coincidence, maybe something of an interesting point. Maybe I think that's what we'll go for. That Sir Alex Ferguson wanted to replace Rio Ferdinand and Nemanja Vidic with Johnny Evans and Rafael Varane. And now here we are in the year 2024, and that's pretty much been our first choice centre half partnership the last couple of weeks. Good evening to Chat Sport. Thanks for joining in, buddy. Much appreciated. Yeah, guys, look, for anyone who has missed the start of the show, obviously, look, been pretty inactive on the channel here. Haven't been well, have been very busy at work as well. But I mean, it's not really much of an excuse. Probably should have got on here as well. But I'm going to try to get back to normal uploads and stuff as well. This week things have hopefully starting to clear up a little bit, so that's good. You can probably hear it in my voice anyway. It is a little bit rough on it. So anyway, I'll go through some of the other stories we got to go through tonight. I guess one of them is going to be the Man United finances, and look, I'll have a look at this and break it down for you guys because um it's interesting. Q2, obviously at this moment in time, looking into these financials, I'm not 100% sure on the stipulations, what it means for the summer transfer budget. I think it's going to be a little bit higher because revenue's up. It's a record revenue quarter. We've also made a profit for the first time in quite a while as well. Debt has increased as well, but I will go through this in full detail. But it is it's pretty interesting anyway, guys. So we've reported a net profit of $25.3 million in this second fiscal quarter. On a per share basis, this means that it is a net income of 15 cents per share. Adjusting for non-recurring gains, we're 14% per share. We posted a record revenue of around $280 million, or about 225 in pounds as well. The debt has gone up as well, which is unfortunate. It's up to £773 million. In this quarter alone, we have paid £9 million to sell ourselves to Sir Jim Radcliffe, which isn't. That's not good. Let's put it that way. That's not good. And that is going to increase as well. In the next quarter as well, will be a higher amount of money, obviously paying off the Rain Group for facilitating the sales. They'd been speaking as well, but it's an interesting quarter anyway. But it does mean good things in terms of our transfer budget, if that is providing, of course, that we're not going to be hindered by a lack of European football. The club debt is growing again, which isn't good. I know not everybody's 100% on the financials, but all we need to know is money coming in is going up, debt is going up, money being paid to do this deal for Radcliffe to take ownership, it's going up. Profits are there for the first time in quite a while, in a quarter, so that's good. That comes from off the back of an increase of TV share revenue, which is important. Obviously, the last one was impacted in terms of what we had with the early exit from the Champions League, but it's gonna be an interesting next summer, and I'm pretty sure I seen earlier. Don't quote me on this, but we can spend 70% of our turnover, so that would be our revenue in this upcoming transfer window. So I would expect a big transfer window in terms of money being spent, probably around 150, 180 million pounds. That's probably a net spend you're looking at. Hopefully, we can push that up with some sales as well. That'll be positive. The man says mount availability is now all that matters. At least we have our 65 million in the squad. Not fully seen him as a player. The number 7, of course we haven't, buddy. Chatsport said, is Mount in for selection? Mount's not in for selection at the weekend, no, but he will be back in terms of the next match after the international break. So he will be available. I think something tells me it might be Newcastle that we're playing in that there one. I'm not 100% sure, guys. I'll have to double check that one, but it's good to have him back regardless. That's good news. Obviously, look, if we want to talk strictly finance, just to quickly wrap up on this story, we're looking at a record revenue and a record. I think, guys, it's a record TV deal. So you want to see this profit going up because the money going up is the money coming in is rising and rising, which is good. So now you want to start to see it being used more effectively, which will be good as well. According to Kieran Maguire, he's something of a football finance expert here as well, writes for a couple of newspapers. He has said, looking at the proposed rules in relation to squad spending caps and applying to this season, the assumptions are the player wages are 70% of total cap, 70% for the revenue, and 85% if not in the Champions League. So basically, it means that United have a headroom of about 4.3%, which is good. It means we can go out there and spend some money in this upcoming window, and I think that's the general gist of what I want to go with our financials. We're heading towards being able to spend some money this year, which is good. Ye Films Production says, what Ranić suggested, I wanted to implement it at the club. We have to be patient. It will take time. It will. Absolutely, it'll take time. Absolutely. We will be looking at a couple of years maybe until we can win a Premier League. But I think that's good, all things considered. When we look at the level of squad that we're currently at, we look at the personnel problems, the question over managers. It's not been an easy couple of months. It's not been an easy season for us so far. But I think maybe within 2 to 3 years, you could be looking at a squad that could go on and start to challenge for stuff. Maybe even quicker. Maybe that could happen quicker. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure, but it could happen pretty soon. Might happen next season. Who knows? Who knows? Anything can happen in this game. That's something that we have to be ready for. And always looking towards as well. So I'll go back towards some of our stories, guys. Get your comments in down below as well. Interesting stories coming out from Ben Jacobs. I would like to have a little look at as well. So Jared Branthwaite is on United's radar for this summer. There hasn't been little there's been little movement ahead of the summer, but we will definitely have Jared Branthwaite on that radar. Michael Olise is the only specific target dated by INEOS and was done even prior to deal completion. Other names are still being determined. Rajad, good to see you, buddy. I'm wearing a Nice kit. No, this is a really weird kit. Actually, I got it from a mystery kit. This is I think it's Thai. It says Taro on it. I think it might be like a Taiwanese team. It's a really random one, buddy. Leman is on there. Good to see you, man, as well. Guys, thanks so much for the likes, for hopping on in here as well. I have an interesting story, I guess, is regarding Dan Ashworth as well, guys. So Dan Ashworth reckons Branthwaite's going to tick a lot of boxes and will be discussed in more detail. The asking price will determine on whether Everton stay up or go down. Everton would be expected to ask between 60 to 70 million. It is a tough deal for us to pull off this summer if we don't get Champions League, but finding a new centre half is a priority. I think he's worth it. I think you're looking at one of the best defenders in the league this season. At a young age, he's only going to improve. So that for me is good. Barcelona looking at a potential deal for Mason Greenwood. That's something to keep an eye out on, because John Murdoch pictured not just in Barcelona but also in Madrid yesterday as well. So what does that mean? Are we looking at doing deals with these clubs potentially? Because I don't think Barca is going to have 40 or 50 million to spend. So you could be looking at a swap for Greenwood. Maybe you start to look at some of their young players in a swap deal. That could be something that you do see. Apparently, we're interested in Jules Koundé. I don't think he'll be the player from Barcelona we'll be interested in personally, but it is certainly an interesting one anyway. Leman is down there. Big ups. Steph says we've been looking for a catalyst all season. Beating Liverpool in a cup is a must for two reasons: stop the Scousers and prevent our weak mentality players giving up for the rest of the season. Yeah, absolutely, Steph. Absolutely. It's kind of crazy. Like, we are one game. As bad as we've been this season, guys, we are one match away from playing at Wembley. Like, that's pretty crazy, all things considered. Leman, he is my second or third club. Oh, he's talking about that. Sorry, apologies. Apologies for jumping into the conversation there. But yeah, look, guys, interesting. Certainly, it does look like we're getting a lot of things in check for going after a big summer. It does feel like we're getting a lot of things in order as well. I assume the INEOS moves for directors of football, technical directors, head of recruitment, that sort of stuff is still going. We know the Ten Hag decision is on its way. It's probably already been made, but they're waiting to action that based on what they want to do. Not 100% sure what that's going to be yet. It could be a sacking. It could be keeping Ten Hag. It could be mutual termination. We don't know this as of this moment, but it's certainly kind of an interesting ride anyway to see what happens with him. I'm not too sure. I'm really not too sure, because there isn't a glut of top managers out there. I like De Zerbi, I like Potter in some ways. I think Nagelsmann's my priority. I think that could be my number one, but I don't know. It's one of those. Do you wait until he's finished with the German national team, which could be July, before you bring him in? Like, that's not ideal either. So this is a deal that if you're going to do Nagelsmann, you have to get it done quickly. You have to get that stipulated. He will obviously stay for the European Championships, however long that lasts for Germany. In recent years hasn't been fantastic. Chat Sport says he thinks he stays. Liman says we could not stop the treble. So what expectations do we have from these Ten Hag chickens? I mean, yeah. I think the FA Cup final last year was a very, very disappointing match. Really, really was, all things considered. Certainly, look, for me, Steph, am I on team? Yeah. If so, what night? I'm not too sure at the minute, Steph. I was speaking about bath time, I think yesterday on it. They've got a lot of guests lined up this week, so I mightn't even be on. So it might just be me flying solo on my own channel here as well. um, which obviously is probably still going to be what I have to be doing as well. I need to be on here more often, regardless. Getting more streams and more content done, obviously. Um, especially coming into this part of the year. Look, this is where we want to start ramping things up, looking at players ahead of summer, looking at what we're likely to do with the manager situation, covering the end of the season, obviously big things, and then obviously transfer window as well. Which with a very big transfer window last year, I think we did quite well. We're basically live every night, across the entire summer. I'm gonna try to get as close to that as possible this year again. Rajat wants to see Porto go through. There could be a chance of that. I would fancy Arsenal, to be honest, but anything could happen. Liman says I want Arsenal to win the league, and have a soft corner for them in the Champions League. I think out of the three possibilities, I think Arsenal winning the league is probably the most preferred by most fans, myself included. Would you rather Liverpool match us on 20 league titles, City win 4 in a row, or Arsenal win a league? I guess you begrudgingly probably have to say you would rather Arsenal. But that's just me. Like, if you guys think, yeah, look, City don't really have fans, I'll not get any stick from anybody. That's a perfectly valid opinion as well to have. Steph's down there. Any chance of daytime shows? Not at the minute, Steph. See, at the minute, I'm very busy in work, so having to work throughout the day. So that's pretty much 9 to 6, and then I think because I'm not fully at home anymore, which isn't ideal, obviously. That's how we used to be able to do them all. It was just like I would just finish work at like 5, but now I've got an extra hour plus I have to commute as well. So I'll try to get them done. I think what I might do is maybe like a double stream Saturday. I'll be free most Saturdays. That could be 2. And I think what I'll do is try to get some videos out during the day as well. If I can still do that, obviously. Even if, it only takes 10 minutes on my lunch break just to like quickly upload a video. So I think that might be the go-to for the next couple of months. I'll probably be busy in work until June time, so that's probably going to be what happens for now, unfortunately. Steph says Arteta out army might be assembling tonight. They might be. Who knows? Liman says I've no issues with Arsenal other than the Alex Ferguson Wenger rivalry and Ken Vieira hated Arsenal during the period, but not anymore. Their fans are irritating, but it's okay. Yeah, look, I mean, I would agree with that. I think Arsenal kind of dropped off before I was really aware of like genuine and genuinely followed United in football in general. The Arsenal drop off kind of came about 2003, maybe. I think that was their last league title, and I would have been 4 at the time. So, like the first rival I ever really remember us having was Chelsea, and that was those 05, 06, 06, 07 onwards. Kind of time. Obviously, City then came into it as well. But that's about all I can really remember as far back. Chelsea was the first team that I really had like a definitive rivalry with from them. And there's an interesting one anyway. I wonder who this is coming from. This from Chris Wheeler. I'll read this out, guys, because this seems like a bit of a nonsense story. Continuing on with this Mark Goldbridge feud, there's been talk in recent days that Rasmus Højlund's teammates took a dim view of his decision to be interviewed by United Stand presenter Mark Goldbridge. However, it's understood the issue has been the source of jokes in the dressing room rather than causing serious tension. Højlund understands why some teammates were unhappy and has no intention of upsetting them, but he has been a long-time fan of the United Stand and wanted to honour his promise to do an interview with him. I don't know. This kind of this story is kind of rumbling on. It just feels like the latest in a long line of stupid things that surround this football club. Um, just sort of living there. And I mean, like, I can kind of get where United stands coming from. Like, as a content creator, what you want. I mean, like, if I could sit down and interview Rasmus Højlund, like, I absolutely would be doing that. Like, there's no doubt in my mind about it. Like, I know that over there can be negative and it can be toxic over there as well. I'm sure I've said things that are less than complimentary to some players as well on my own channel. Like that, it kind of is what it is. It's just like expressing your opinion at the end of the day. But like, I would never purposely have like a witch hunt against anything. I don't know. Rosette said, "Will Rodrigo leave when Mbappe is going to come?" Maybe. I mean, maybe. You think that there'll have to be some kind of change at Real Madrid, because obviously they're not going to get rid of Vinicius. They're not going to get. They're bringing in Mbappe. I would imagine Rodrigo is going to play right wing. But then the question is, like, Mbappe is where he likes to pick up and do a lot of damage is on the left hand side. So they're not going to get rid of Rodrigo, who's maybe the best left winger in the world, to bring Mbappe in to play him at striker, because Mbappe likes to occupy the same areas. So they'll have to swap that about. Obviously, Bellingham kind of playing in that box crashing midfielder role this season really, really suits him. And he's been doing absolutely unbelievably for Real Madrid as well. So that's going to be something to consider. And then their midfield, yeah, I mean, the rest of the team can handle it. I think Madrid's big problem, if they can get Mbappe in, I think then they got to start looking at that defense, because I watched him the other night and it was like Danny Carvajal probably past his best. They didn't really have a left back. I think Ferland Mendy might have been on at one point. Rudiger, Alaba, they're always kind of injured. Militao was injured as well. I mean, it was Nacho and Tchouaméni at centre half as well. So I think that's gonna be Madrid's priority. If they want some defenders, we will happily sell them Victor Lindelof and Harry Maguire. Happily. Steph says MG likes the spotlight and is essentially part of the mischief making media, now getting very tiresome. It can be, yeah. It can be. Like, I like to. I think what my problem is with TUS in general is just kind of like there's no consistency. They go after Marcus Rashford every single week, but again today they did a whole video defending Anthony, and I mean Anthony's been far worse than Rashford has been this season. So I don't get that aspect of it. I don't know. I mean, they are the biggest fan channel out there in the world. They get 250,000 views a stream. I get 250 views a stream. Like, I'm not really in a position to go like, yeah, your business model sucks, screw you guys, you're doing it all wrong, this is how you should be doing it. I just like to see, or like to hope, that I'm at least consistent with what I say, and that I'm not that anything I am saying is based on information or like based on some kind of fact. I don't know. Look, I've got Rajat saying United and Arsenal was the best rivalry, clear of Liverpool and Man City. Yeah. I mean, absolutely. This whole love in between Pep and Klopp is just ridiculous. The United Chelsea was a better rivalry. Arsenal United was a better rivalry. We went from the year 2004 2005 right through until 2011 2012. Every Premier League was won by United or Chelsea in that period. You had United in 3 Champions League finals, Chelsea in 2 Champions League finals in that time. The FA Cup usually went between, we won it once, I think. Chelsea beat us at Wembley, won a few times as well. So, that for me is a more dominating rivalry than what this City Liverpool thing is. I don't know. That's just my opinion, honestly. Limon says, what player would I like to interview if given the opportunity? Oh, that's a good question, buddy. I don't know. I would have to think about it. Like, maybe I think I'll go for Johnny Evans. I feel like I'll get a good interview out of Johnny. Like, from the same part of the world. Obviously, he might be able to understand me. So that's what I'll go with. I'll go with Johnny Evans. Chatsport said, they'll look at Trent from Madrid. They might do. I mean, they might do. There was talk about them looking at Diogo Dalot at one point. I hope that's not true. He's obviously growing into something quite special, I guess. Rosette, if Madrid gets Bayern Lindelof, they'll sacrifice status and winning. No, they won't. That's what they need. Those are the high quality, high prestige players they need. If they want to take if they want to take Casemiro back, they can have him. If they want to take Anthony, they can have him as well. But I don't know. Maybe we'll be getting on the phone to the Saudi Pro League. I feel like that's going to be something we're going to try exploit this season. It's whether or not we've got players they would want to buy. I don't think that too many of our players are going to be big glamorous names. You could see Varane go there. You could see Casemiro go there. Those feel like Saudi Pro League signings. I can't see them breaking the bank to sign Harry Maguire or Wan-Bissaka or Lindelof. I just can't see that happening. I really can't. Was that no kindergarten that time? Did I miss that? Bart said, "Did I enjoy the latest segment of England's answer to the El Clasico?" Honestly, mate, I didn't even watch the match. I was at the Northern Irish League Cup final between Portadown and Linfield on Sunday. That's where I was. Um, I didn't actually watch that match either. Chatsport Barcelona will be a mid-table club in the Premier League. I don't think so. I don't think so. Bart says people used to say Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern United as biggest clubs, but now it's Real, Barca, Bayern, Liverpool, City. I disagree, buddy. I disagree. I mean, City win trophies, but I mean, there's always going to be that massive asterisk of 115 charges beside them that wouldn't be in this position if it wasn't for financial doping. Like that is undisputable at this point. I think I don't think anyone's going to try to argue that City have got 100% clean slate because they don't. Look, Rajat said they want Reece. Reece James was injured, man. Le Mans, I exchanged the league match with Forest for the FA Cup as those 3 points are more important than facing Klopp's kids. We said that, but they could end up beating us on Sunday. Very possible. Or should we sell the naming rights of the training ground and put some money through the door? We do. Officially, we train at the Aon training complex. Just nobody calls it that. That's probably the reason why. But it is actually the Aon training complex, I believe, at this moment in time. Rajat, not now, 5 to 10 years. One with history, one's relevant from about 2012. True. Rajat said Barcelona be a top 4. They probably would be. Maybe not with their current team, but I feel like Premier League money would help them out a lot. Apparently, Barcelona looking to sell the rights to their jersey. Barcelona is selling their soul because of extreme financial mismanagement and overspending and running their club into the ground. They're selling off pieces of their pitch. They're selling off seats from their stadium. They're trying to sell their own TV licensing. Barcelona are pulling every lever there is, but eventually, it's clearly a sinking financial ship. There's no ifs, buts, or maybes about that. Steph says, catch you all soon. Have to go out for the messages. Mike want to explain to the chat what that is. Now you're good. You're good. Bart says, would you prefer if United got Porto's manager instead of Ruben Amorim? I mean, I like Amorim, but I don't think he's my first choice. I don't think he's my first choice by a long stretch. I think Nagelsmann is still going to be my first choice at this moment in time. But look, I mean, Porto's been doing pretty well. Let's not kid ourselves. Porto are going to the Emirates a goal up tonight. With a fairly aging team. I mean, I'm looking at it. It's Evan Nielsen. It's Pepe, Taremi as well. I mean, it's not a fantastic Porto team. Like, what have I got in here as well? Rashad, sorry. With Mbappe, Madrid will probably dominate world football. I mean, they might do, or they might not do. It's difficult to say what's going to happen ahead of time. Like, no one's doubting Mbappe's quality, but other players have gone there and not made it. Other players have struggled with the mood. And look, there was a really, really interesting video by Tifo Football done the other day, and I was watching it, and I couldn't agree more with it as well. You're looking at kind of the opposite of what you would expect in like a market economy where the best players or the best commodities, I guess you would say, there's so little demand for them, and the reason you have so little demand is because there's so little place that can actually afford them. So what you're basically getting there is your top clubs and top players, if they want to leave their club, then they've got a very limited pool of clubs that they can go to. and they might not always be the perfect environment. I mean, Harry Kane had one option last season, because Bayern Munich, and Bayern Munich has not been a good move for Harry Kane. I know he scored a lot of goals, but he went to a team that was coming to the end of its life cycle, and a team that's going to be going into transition. So that's why they find themselves not winning the Bundesliga this year. That's why they found themselves waiting till the last day to win the Bundesliga last year. There's no guarantee if Mbappe goes to Madrid, he will be a success. The likelihood is that he will. The extreme likelihood is that he will be a massive success at Real Madrid, but it's not guaranteed. But by any stretch of the imagination, other factors, other players, the environment of Madrid might change. You don't know what's going to be coming around the corner. Ancelotti might go, and they might end up getting a manager who's the wrong fit for them. It's difficult to say what could happen. It is. Irfan's son there, Kevin Danso, is class. Luman says, if I was today's kid, I would choose City as my club. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. A lot of kids do just kind of go with whatever clubs are winning the trophies. That's fairly standard as well. Bart says, I have a feeling Arteta may fancy the Barca job, especially as he started his career there. Yeah, I mean, I could say that. I don't think it's somewhere to touch at the minute. Like, you would want to see Barcelona get those financial issues solved before they do anything. I have Rosette, dominating Premier League. Costa's a great goalkeeper. Bar says, if Pepe was in Britain, surely he would be up for a senior citizens card in a few years. Pepe's what, 40, 41? Like, I mean, the man is just playing for the love of the game at this point, clearly. Liman says, don't understand the 115 charges, but my doubts go stronger after seeing them get Haaland for only 75 million. I think they're getting them 500k per week under the table, or maybe more. Yeah, they are. There was an interesting set of numbers came out during the week. So directors at Newcastle and at Man City are working for free according to the numbers. So that's kind of where you can take your lead from. There's no way that Erling Haaland is getting paid £200,000 a week, and they got him for £65 million. It's inflated numbers. It's deflated numbers. He's probably on a lot of bonuses, but I'm positive Haaland's probably getting closer to 600, 700,000 a week easily. Rashad, how is Porto's manager any good? That's a question to Bart. I think, what is he call him? It's Sergio something. I'm gonna Google that. That's annoying me as well. Bart says, surely today's kids have more important things to do than to choose a football club. Kids need to learn how to breathe independently. Other than that, Bart says, yeah, he's won 12 trophies in 7 seasons for a Porto side whose best players are picked off. True. Jasport said Newcastle fans want Eddie Howe gone. I'm not surprised. If you want to look at it, they've had a massive regression this year, and Newcastle United has become a club where they're expecting success. I think their fan base are expecting them to go on to be the next Man City, but obviously they're starting from a very low point. They haven't been able to spend the money the way City still did it initially, but they did find themselves. I think Newcastle have spent something in the region of £400 million in the last 2 or 3 seasons since the Saudi takeover began. So whilst Howe kept them up and did well last season, there's no doubt about it. They're currently bottom half of the league. They're not playing particularly well. They have a lot of injury issues. So there's big concerns for Newcastle. Did I expect a drop off this season? Yes, I thought that they would struggle to deal with the demands of all these extra matches they've had to play. Now, ultimately, look, it's only 6 extra matches, but the way that affects your schedule clumps things up at times. They've had a lot of injuries as well. It's not been ideal for them. They're an interesting team to watch because they still have a lot of players who they're fighting relegation with, but yeah, I mean Newcastle. I think it's going to be a couple more years before you see a real serious Newcastle team. Who have I got in the comments? Le Mans, Arteta loves Arsenal just like Klopp loves Liverpool. Same with Pep. These 3 pairs are made in heaven. Arteta won't leave until he's won the league at a Champions League with Arsenal, says Le Mans. Maybe not. We don't know what's going to happen there. Let me see. Bart says Haaland is also their cash cow, as kids in South East Asia roots for studying more Then before seeing goes to America, he's on the cusp of becoming a genuine superstar. Yeah, I mean, he is what I mean. Look, if you're a kid, right, and you're not like looking into the tactics of football and appreciating the subtleties of some players' game or whatever, you're gonna look and say, right, who's scoring all the goals? Who's winning all the trophies? And you're like, right, Haaland's scoring the most goals, winning the most trophies, then he must be the best. Then that's kind of what to go with. Bath time. Good to see you, Darius. What is going on with Ahmad? Yeah, Ahmad Diallo seems to be a little bit of an interesting case at the moment. Obviously, look, it was last night he went out, deleted all of his social media posts, but are photos of him playing in Sunderland, trying to tell a message clearly. And then I believe he took down all of his social media in general. He's kind of gone off the grid, so to speak. But certainly, Ahmad, I get why he's frustrated. You know, I do, because he's a good player. He is a good player, a lot of talent. Showed a lot at Sunderland. Never really had an opportunity to play for us, as such. But I think he's got a right to be annoyed now. Look, he was for going to the African Cup of Nations in January. I believe that he would have probably ended up in the squad, even though he wasn't really playing. We told him not to go, and we didn't play him. I think he wanted to go on loan at the start of the season. In January as well, after he recovered from his injury, and then we didn't let him go on loan, and we're still not playing him. So it is kind of a question: should we not give the guy, just throw him a bone, give him a start next week or something? I don't know. Um, I don't know. I don't think we need to play Anthony every week. I don't think we need to play Garnacho in 25 consecutive matches like we have done. Bad time, annoyingly, we could have had you on last night. Tate set me up. I've never been set up by a middle-aged man before, and I don't like it. Fair enough. Bad time goes, Ahmad's probably sick to death of hearing how hard it was for Rashford to catch a bus. Maybe. I mean, maybe. I'm sure Ahmad's upbringing wasn't much easier. Like, hold on one second, guys, because I wouldn't mind giving the guy an opportunity. I mean, we're not really playing for much in the league at the minute. Obviously, look, I don't think he's going to play on Sunday against Liverpool, but I mean, after Liverpool, we play Brentford. He'll probably not play there. He won't play Stamford Bridge. He won't play against Liverpool in the league. But I mean, there's no reason why Ahmad can't be playing against Sheffield United and Burnley. You can give him a run out in those matches and see how he does. Absolutely no reason at all why we couldn't do that there. But in it is one of those. It's like he seems to have been promised something. He seems to have been said, "Don't go on loan. Don't go to Afcon. Stay here and you will get minutes," and then he never got the minutes. That's got to be a frustration for him. I think Pellistri has got minutes this season and has gone out on loan. That's probably what Ahmad wanted. It's maybe what he's heading towards before the injury in pre-season, but I don't know. The lesser spotted Ahmad Diallo is an interesting phenomenon indeed. Will he prove to be a talented player? Will he prove to be someone who's going to be someone we end up keeping for a long time and playing? Or is he going to end up the same way as a Donny van de Beek type character? Who knows? Who knows for sure? Bart says Diallo was a bad signing in the first place. Signing Sancho the summer later broke him. The horror Rangers loan hurt him. His loan on Weirstock was good, but the Premier League is different cattle of fish. I think it's physicality. I do. I think it might be physicality with Ahmad. I think that might be the reason. I can get why he's annoyed himself, but I'm also looking at it from a point of view that I think he's something like 5'5", 5'6". Is there a concern over his physicality in the Premier League? That remains to be seen, I guess. Bart says, I've seen Owen at United, Craig when Schmeichel went to City, and now I'm ready for anything. That time, my uncle supports Rangers and said he was awful. Yeah, I've got friends who support Rangers. They all said unanimously that he was absolutely awful in the Scottish League and he couldn't handle the physicality of it. He went to the Championship and was one of the best players in the league the season he was there, which would kind of go against the physicality notion. But then he's come back and not really done anything either for us. So I wouldn't mind giving him a go. I don't see the harm in it. I really don't. I don't think we've got really an outstanding candidate on the right-hand side. Garnacho, we've kind of stumbled into playing Garnacho on the right-hand side, but that wasn't the first place intention. It was always going to be Anthony. It was always going to be Sancho or even Pellistri. I'll give him a go. Like, there's no... We play... I'm pretty sure it's in the fixture list there. We play Sheffield United, Burnley, and Crystal Palace consecutively. there's no reason, in my opinion, why he couldn't play one of those matches. Put him up against Sheffield United, see what he does. Put him up against Burnley, like even play him against Crystal Palace. Just see how he does. Like, I don't know. Bart says Ahmad was excelling under Gasparini. 40 million after a season at Atalanta was way too good an offer to turn down, but signing him in Palestri doesn't make any sense. He would do better in France. I don't know. I feel like Ahmad might do well in Spain. I don't know if that suits his game better. Maybe Italy would be the best place for him. I'm not too sure. The man says Arteta would turn Ahmad into a Saka. Is it training mentality? I'm not too sure. We haven't really seen a lot about his overall mentality or his name being dragged through the press or anything. We haven't. I did call him the lesser spotted Amad Diallo for a reason, because we don't really seem to hear stories about the guy all too often. Bart says he's not built to play on the wing, isn't better than Bruno at 10, and cannot play up front or in the midfield. Maybe. Bath time, I do have a friend up in Sunderland who said he was incredible but couldn't last beyond 65 minutes in the Championship. That could be a concern there as well. It might still go back to physicality. It might still go back to, is he physically able for this? Maybe he is better in a league of less intensity. I'm not too sure. I wouldn't mind giving him a go, because at least then we can definitively say that, yeah, look, he's not going to be the one. But I can only see him going. I think he's a little bit old to be sitting around at the minute. I think he's 21, 22 maybe. I think he probably goes in the summer. To be honest, that's what I think we're probably going to do. Rashad said, why get two youngsters to go sign two? I don't know. Nah, I mean, we signed Palistri and Ramad Diallo on the same day, and we never really played either of them. I think he has less than 5 starts for his total. Bart says, get him, Nickel, Rush, Douglas, Hanson, Marketeer, look good United back. All right, buddy. All right, man. But yeah, I mean, there is some interesting players to keep an eye out on. It seems like Bart is a little bit knowledgeable of the Portuguese league. A name I am going to throw out there, who I've just seen pop up, is Martin Hjulmand of Sporting Lisbon. I think he's a Danish midfielder. I mean, I've seen bits of him this season. I haven't really watched him extensively. I think I've mentioned him once or twice in the show as being someone we're looking at. But Bart, if you've watched Hjulmand's play this season at all, let me know. What kind of player are you looking at here? Bathheim says France and Italy, the next two most physical leagues after Prem. They are, yeah. I mean, I think Spain could be an interesting one for him potentially. I think he probably could play in Italy, but even at that, Atalanta are a pretty physical team in terms of the demands of their players as well. But I'm not too sure anyway, guys. I'm not too sure what happens to Ahmad. It's a little bit of a mystery. It's a little bit confusing. Liman, should fans get access to the training ground? No, they probably shouldn't. Bart says, I don't know, Bart Bizzle just watches them and tells me their shit, but Ahmad was really good. Rashad said, we'll take the Sporting striker or the Leverkusen, maybe Boniface. Yeah, what do you call the Sporting strikers, like Gigores? Scoring a lot of goals this season. I don't know. Like, I've seen someone say he screams of a £30 million signing to West Ham, and you never hear of him ever again after he scored 17 goals in 2.5 seasons and goes for 15 million to I forget the full quote, but like that bit always stuck in my head. I don't know. I mean, maybe he'd be really good. Maybe. I'm not too sure though. I'm not too sure. I think we do need a striker in this window. That's gonna be key for us as well. I think we need to have more options up front. We're just get a Rashford autograph. Bath time. Last time fans had access to the training was during the time we decide when you play era and manage to not to calm them down. Yeah. I don't think that's a good idea. Look, you can have open training sessions. That's fine if you're on preseason tour and you're basically just doing fitness drills and doing some running work and stuff. Yeah, by all means, fans can come in if they want to watch United players run around the pitch for a bit. Bart said, haven't watched too much of Sporting Lisbon. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to check them out, because Amorim seems to be a name popping up quite a bit in terms of managerial stuff. I think the name's really popping up. If we want to look at it from right now, I think top 5 that we're seeing at this moment is certainly De Zerbi, Potter, Amorim, Nagelsmann, and then fifth is kind of a question one. The Dan's popping up a little bit. I'm not really having that. I don't think that's ever going to happen, to be honest with you guys. But I think those seem to be four that are popping up time and time again. Whether or not you go outside of that and you start to look at like Miguel from Girona, that was a potential one I spoke about one night. Would make sense with the Omar Barada links to the City Football Group. Maybe. Who knows? Who knows? Bath. Do you remember that? Incredible. It happened in retrospect. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that I don't know how that happened either. Like, security obviously had an off day at Carrington. Somebody was probably on their lunch break or coming late back from it. I don't know. But we ended up protesting right outside the front doors. Um, I actually think it was pretty soon after that, wasn't it, that we had the protest that ended up onto the pitch of Old Trafford. Rashad said Napoli going through against Barca. I'm not too sure. Two teams that have kind of fallen off a lot this season. I'm not too sure though. Jarl says, "Good evening, Nagelsmann. It's funny. Yep, funny dude. He got no chance to become United manager. I could see. I think we could see it. I really think that could be an option that we're looking at. I genuinely think we could be looking at him. I mean, that's coming. If for anyone who has seen Nagelsmann's teams played, I mean, you're looking at a really interesting system. You're looking at a really hard working system as well. Like the questions over player fitness and Ten Hag's system, you're gonna be looking at this Nagelsmann one, and I don't know. Barca, I haven't watched him too much of Lisbon. Was surprised when none of the top Premier League clubs didn't go for Ugarte this summer. He's fit as a fiddle and tackles like Onana of Everton. Yeah, he went to PSG. I think there was talk of Chelsea wanting him at some point, but I mean, Chelsea had a period where they just went and signed every player in that kind of profile. They went and got Caicedo and they got Lavia. Really, really pretty much back-to-back weeks as well. The man said, "I can see Rooney as a future United manager." Nah, man, I can't see that ever happening. Bar said, "Problem is when Nagelsmann, he hasn't ever built a team from scratch. In the RB group, he benefited enormously from the structure. At Bayern, was good, not great." Yeah, I would agree with that. And I think looking at the structure we want to bring in, I think that's probably suits someone like a Nagelsmann. He obviously wouldn't be walking into like a pre-made team. It would be building the team up from scratch, and he would be a big part of that. Whether he's ready or not for it, I'm not too sure. But I think potentially, I mean, whoever comes in is going to have Barada and Ashworth, Jason Wilcox as well. Whoever's going to be directors of football and recruitment. So there's definitely a lot of investment into the structure, but you could be looking at a position where a manager still comes into a structure trying to find its feet as well, which is a real possibility. I know the people we're bringing in are very good and very qualified, but it's also going to take them a while to get up and running at the club as well. So that's maybe a secondary consideration we have to make in regards to the managerial appointment. Rashad said, "Okay, not great at passing. His passing range is okay." Are we talking about Garda there? Jarl says both Tottenham and Chelsea rejected him because he demanded too much control. United does also do not like the control of Ten Hag, so he's not a fit. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't think Nagelsmann really had the chance to succeed at Bayern either. I know, obviously, Bayern, fantastic team, like, make no mistake about it, but it wasn't necessarily footballing reasons why he got the sack as well at Bayern Munich. So I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure what route we go down. I know that De Zerbi's a good manager. I know his system's good. I know that somehow Brighton have, in terms of the XG, some of the least conceded, but yet they still have conceded a hell of a lot of goals this year. So I might have to go back and have a look at that. Bath time, should I make a samurai or netrunner build for Cyberpunk? I've played Cyberpunk a grand total of one time. Um, I don't really mind. Like, I just I kind of went like more ranged, but that's about it. It's a couple of years ago I played it. I'm trying to think because obviously you got the three different starts. You can kind of start like, um, as like a corporate kind of character. You can kind of start as like just like a city dweller, or there's like like in the Outlands, driving about in a car. That was obviously what I went for. But I haven't played Cyberpunk in so long. Um, but am I worried Radcliffe only has 25% stake? Does that mean Glazers think the importance of football in the club is only worth 25? Yeah, I mean, they only think that. Like, the football inside's not the important stuff. They don't care what happens on the pitch. It's the bottom line that matters to them. It is. Was that, could we see Branthwaite and Tobito? I mean, maybe. I think my preference is Branthwaite because I think that's the type of player we need. But I totally get the need to be playing stuff out as well. Working on our structure and our ability to play out of the back. But I think we need dual winners. I think we need physicality. I mean, I think we need someone to really cover the wide areas as well. And that's why I think Branthwaite's important because I will do a video on it. I'll get it maybe a good bit done tomorrow on it because I'm working from home tomorrow, so I'm sure I can write down a couple of ideas. But one of the biggest issues we have is that defensive line. That's causing us a lot of issues. Fundamentally, we want to press from the front, but we've also got a backline that retreats at the first sign of danger. That isn't conducive to having a compact shape, especially, and that leads to transitions against us. It leads to those spacing issues you see on the pitch sometimes as well. It's not the sole cause. Make no mistake about it, it's not the sole cause of it, but it certainly is a factor implementing that. Bart says Bayern don't have a good director of football. They win the league due to overwhelming quality. Yeah, look, Bayern Munich kind of followed the model that we followed it a long time here, buying the best within the league. United and all clubs now really in the Premier League have got to the place and the position financially where they don't have to do that. We can't go and bully. We can't go bully Brentford and take Ivan Toney off them. We can't go bully Palace and just take Elise and Eze off them. We can't just go, okay, Everton, give us Onana, give us Branthwaite right now. We can't do that there. We can't just rock up and cherry pick the very best players from the different clubs in the Premier League. You can't really do that anymore. You can do it to an extent, but you're going to have to play ball with a selling club. They're in a financial position now where they don't have to sell. So unless a team's getting relegated and you've got players you want to pick up from them, it is getting harder to do that. Bath time, am I getting Dragons Dogma 2? No, I don't think so, man. You're starting Corporal, fair play. Was that what is Cyberpunk? Yeah, it's an RPG. It's kind of like set in the dystopian future. Everybody's got like all this like tech and stuff as well. Not spoil anything, but like you got like USB drives in your head and stuff. Like your characters just walking about without their arms, like because they rather have like a cybernetic stuff. It is pretty crazy. Like bath time when I'm not doing PowerPoints, I like to play Baldur's Gate 3, but I finished it now. Fair play. Must be a rampant corner. Bard, if I was United, I would try to get Watkins. He may become Ten Hag's Tadic. Nah, doubt it, buddy. Doubt it. That time I've tried for 2 years to get Mr. B on a Monday to let me DM a Dungeons and Dragons episode of the agenda. Please do, man. Please do. I would be very happy to do that. I would be very happy to do that. We'll do a Middle Earth special. Will we do that? Will we have just a Middle Earth special on the agenda? Maybe we can just like build 11s out of Tolkien characters. I don't know. Let's see. Matata says problem is because of the board, they aren't honest and competitive. Do you play Terraria? And Jarl says I was out of World of Warcraft and then Dragonfly came along and yeah, the rest is history. Fair play. And Bart likes FIFA, Football Manager, and Dragon Ball ever since he started the PhD, but he tries to get as much rest as he can. Fair play, man. I need to get some more rest as well. Like I'm not sleeping well at night. Yeah. I mean, in terms of games at the minute, I'm pretty quiet, guys. Like the only one I'm playing at the moment, I don't know if anyone's seen Europa Universalis 4. It's a pretty old game, like, but it's just like a turn-based world conquest game. It's pretty fun. Like it's got a lot of depth in it. Bath time sounds good. The kitties, yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Look, guys, I think I'm gonna leave the stream here because I'm gonna have to run. Get a couple of things done here tonight anyway. But look, I'll be back live tomorrow, guys. Normal time, 7 p.m. I'll try do a little bit of video, and we'll have a look at United's defensive line and look at potential players who'll come in to improve that there, because that's one of the key things wrong with this team, in my opinion, is that defensive line and just our defense in general. About time, never went near World of Warcraft. Tried to look for it once, wasn't happy. Thanks for the recommendation. Man Utd is addicted to gambling, casinos, lots of betting. Fair play, buddy. Oh dear. I mean, it is Cheltenham week, but I don't know. By the time, I'll ask Dora if she wants D&D Adventure. We can do one stream during summer. I would be absolutely game for that. I would be absolutely game for that. Jarl says World of Warcraft more dangerous. Why is it getting dangerous? Is it just hackers or something? Or like, I thought it would be pretty safe. Like, I don't know. Never really played too much World of Warcraft. I'm not really a big MMO guy. The only one I've really played extensively was a big fan of RuneScape back in the day. I don't know if anyone else played RuneScape. Like, see, RuneScape 07, that kind of era. Different gravy. Like, it was spectacular. RuneScape dropped off at the same time United dropped off. There's 100% there is a 100% correlation between that there. Not that correlation is causation, as I've said many times, but we'll run with it. Have I done Cursive Strata? No, I haven't. I'd love to turn the agenda into D&D role-playing channel. Man, I would love to see you explaining the rules of D&D to Andy Tate. that could be absolutely fantastic. I'm just picturing like Tate and Amonde and Mr. B just being absolutely baffled. Going into which ironic, a lot of YouTube. Yeah, true. That's a good. That is a good one. That is a good one. Look, guys, I think I'm gonna leave the stream here. So thanks so much for watching. Really do appreciate it, guys. Make sure to tune in tomorrow, same time, 7 p.m. UK time. Much appreciated, guys. And I'll catch everyone tomorrow.